I'm David, David McDougall. So growing up, I didn't really have faith. I was never baptized, never read the Bible. I was kind of into some darker things, I was very negative growing up, grew up very quick. I lost my mom at 8. We had to pull the plug on her, which kind of it didn't help my faith. That was at 8 years old. At 11, I found my father dead on Christmas morning. He had a heart attack, and growing up, it wasn't peaches and cream. I thought it was normal for finding my parents drunk all over the place and trying to take care of them. So I lost my father at 11. After that, I moved in with my aunt and uncle. I acted out more. I got in a lot of trouble. I was arrested a lot. I think that was the first time I even prayed to God, when I was in the back of a police cruiser, and that's where it ended. I didn't form a relationship, so I continued to keep getting in trouble and find myself in the same predicament over and over again. After my parents died, I moved with my aunt and uncle. They robbed me for all my parents' life insurance money and kicked me out at 17. And then I moved in with another aunt, and she robbed me for all my money too. I had $6,000 left. I bought a car. She took the car from me. And it was just a series of unfortunate events, and life just got crazy. I loved violence and chaos, and there wasn't really any faith other than I knew there was something else out there looking out for me, but I didn't have any valid proof of it. It wasn't until later on where I got wrapped up into I was a full patch member of a 1% motorcycle gang. That just escalated into a lot more violence and just crazier things, and I got to the point where I was on the edge of seeing death. That was what was next for me. I was at kind of a crossroad. I was with this kid, and we ended up doing some acid, and when I saw him in this different light, it was just very a dark aura. And it forced me to run from him. I started running, and then I just kept seeing myself die over and over and over again, and there was no escaping it. It led me into a field where I got on my hands and knees and I prayed to God, and it was so real and so vivid. I just remember, God, give me another chance, and He's like, David, I've been with you your whole life. You just wasted and trashed everything that I gave you, over and over again. A friend of mine came out of nowhere and picked me up at that exact moment, and he basically told me, he's like, David, you know what you need to do. And from that point on, I kind of just started going down a different path. I cut out everybody in my life. I stopped using drugs. I was heavily addicted for years. I think it was just me bearing the pain that I carried for so long. I don't know, it just switched in me, and I just chose a better way to live. And how the miracles started happening in my life, it led me to Thrive, through one friend telling another about Thrive. And my visions of church before Thrive was the hymns, and falling asleep during service, and coming here, the different atmosphere of people that I feel I can relate to. You know what I mean? It's a church where it just took all the people that felt like they didn't belong, and were able to be accepted. I see people tattooed, and people that my image of most churches were they would be frowned upon, you know what I mean, or you're going to hell, and here it's accepted. This is a place where Jesus would be hanging out, you know what I mean. And for coming into the faith and believing in God and finding Jesus Christ through Thrive, I think it's a perfect place for me. It's just wild to see that through it all, I ended up being baptized on my own will. I pray and I have a constant relationship with God, and He listens to me and He'll answer me, and I've just been blessed ever since. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's almost like He was like, come on, Dave, I'm here. You know what I mean? And then I wasn't listening. I was ignoring everything because it was just false to me, And once I surrendered and I gave in to God's will, that's huge to me, God's will, because it was just a weight lifted off my shoulders, because David's will doesn't work out too well, David's will got me in the back of those police cruisers and making just wrong decisions. And